Hello, boys and girls. This is Miss Moreno. Welcome to Eureka Math Module 1, Lesson 26. Today you'll be looking at percent of a quantity. Today's learning target. I will find the percent of a quantity and, given a part and the percent, I will solve problems involving finding the whole. Let's take a look at example number 1. Five of the 25 girls on Alden Middle School's soccer team are 7th grade students. Find the percent of the 7th graders on the team. Show 2 different ways of solving for the answer. One of the models must include a diagram or picture model. So what do we know? We know 5 out of the 25 girls are 7th graders. And we need to find the percent. And we also need to show 2 different ways, 2 different methods. So I am going to start by using the box method, right? So this should be review because we have been using the box method when we were reviewing the columns in class. So we always fill it out, part, whole, percent, and it's always out of 100. So let's take what we know. It's 5 out of 25. That tells me 5 is the part, 25 is the whole. What I do not know is a percent. That's what I'm solving for. So I'm going to label it X because it's an unknown value right now. Now I'm going to rewrite it. So what you first do is you multiply the numbers that are diagonal, like right here, 5 and 100. So I'm going to multiply 100 times 5, and that gives me 500. Next, I'm going to divide by the number that's diagonal from the X, right? The only number we haven't used. So I'm going to divide 500 by 25, and that gives me 20. So I know that 20% of the girls are 7th graders. Now I need to show you using a different method. For the next method, I am going to use the double number line. We always start by labeling, right? Percent and number of players. If you choose to put number of players on top and percent on the bottom, it's still correct. It's just your preference. I like to have the percent on top, but it's your preference. You will still get the same answer. Okay, so what else do I know? I know that there are a total of 25 girls. And when I do start my double number line, I always start with 0. And I'm going to increase by 5 till I get to 25 because there are a total of 25 students. Since the total is 25, 25 out of 25 is 100. So I know to label that 100%. Now I need to decide what I should increase by in my top number line. So if I count from 0 to 100, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am going to divide 100 by 5, and that gives me 20. That means that my top number line will increase by 20. Oh. I also know that 5 of the girls are middle schoolers are 7th graders. And the double number line clearly shows me that the 5 middle schoolers, the 7th graders, represent 20%. So the 7th graders make up 20% of the team. Now, if I went too fast, please rewind and try it again on your own. Just like in class, in the beginning I model. Normally you would ask me questions, but I'm not there. You can ask me later on our video chat. So I'm on example 2 now. Of the 25 girls on the Alden Middle School soccer team, 40% also play on the travel team. How many of the girls on the middle school team also play on the travel team? So it's the same team, the exact same girls, right? 25 girls, just like in example 1. But the only difference is 40% of them also play on a travel team. I want to know how many of the girls also play on another team. Well, since it's the exact same number of girls, I am going to use the same double number line that I already used. I'm going to go back here. back to this page. Use the same double number line. It is asking me, it's telling me that 40% also play on a travel team. And I want to know how many girls play also on the travel team. So if I look here, I can clearly see that 10 girls also play on the travel team. So now I want to prove that using another model. Okay, so method number 2, as you know it, the box method. I know at first you're like, how do you remember that? But remember, the more you do it, the more you practice, you'll just know automatically. So here's my box. I'm going to fill out what I know. Part, whole, percent, and 100. I know that the whole is 25 because there are a total of 25 girls. I also know that 40% play on another team, so I can label my percent 40. What I do not know is the part. That's what we're going to solve for, so I'll label my part X. So I'm rewriting it as X over 25 equals 40 over 100. Remember, we start by multiplying the numbers that are diagonal, like in this case 25 and 40. So if I multiply 25 by 40, that gives me 1,000. Now I need to divide by the integer that's diagonal from X, which is 100. So 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. 10 girls also play on the travel team. Example number 3. The Alden Middle School girls soccer team won 80% of its game this season. If the team won 12 games, how many games did it play? Solve the problem using at least 2 methods. And again, you don't have to use the methods I've been using. These are just some examples, as long as you're getting the right answer. So let's see what we know. We know that they won 80% of their games, and that they won 12 games. So I know that 12 equals 80%. I need to know how many games they played. This 12 is the part. They won 12, and that's 80%, but I want to know how many games they played in all. So method number 1, box method. Again, the more you do this, the better you get at it. Please pause throughout the way and try it on your own and double check your work. So I'm going to start by labeling my box. I know 80%, right? We're looking at 80%, so I can go ahead and fill in my percent with 80. I'm also provided with the information that they played 12 games. 12 is the part. But I need to find the whole. So whole is my unknown, so I'm putting an X. And I'm going to rewrite my problem right next to it. Now we multiply diagonal. And we multiply 100 by 12, so we get 1,200. And then I'm going to divide by 80, right? We always divide with the number that's diagonal from X. So 1,200 divided by 80 is 15. That means that they played a total of 15 games. Let's see what another way. The double number line. Right, we always label percent. Games start with 0. I'm increasing by 20%. I know that they won 80% of their games, and the problem specifically told me that 80% equals 12. Now I need to figure out what I'm going to divide by. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. 12 divided by 4 is 3. That means I will increase by 3. And as you can clearly see, there was a total of 15 games. So the girls played a total of 15 games. So thank you, boys and girls. I really hope that you're not just copying, that you're pausing and trying it. If you just copied while I was doing this, please go back and retry them. You have the answers in front of you. I'm not going to do the rest of the problems because I want you to try them. We'll go over them tomorrow. Some of you were saying that you couldn't finish the math because I didn't do the work. Again, I show you different methods. This is where I'm modeling so that you can take what I have shown you and you solve the problems. So take what I have shown you so that you can solve the problems. And none of this information should be new because we were doing these two methods when we were doing going over our columns. So thank you, and I will talk to you later.